Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be covering overcoming fear and internal resistance. And this ability, once you cultivate it, it unlocks the potential of your future. But without being able to overcome fear and inner resistance, you won't get anywhere. So this is something you want to develop. So fear is inevitable. We all will go through it. The biggest winners, the most historically known champions, they did have fear. What courage is the ability to recognize your fear and to push through it. It's not that people are fearless. Everyone has fear, but the powerful individuals know that on the other side of fear is exactly what you desire. The strength, confidence, success, wisdom, it all has to be earned through overcoming fear. And you do hold the power within, but it is this cognitive battle. We need to unwire the beliefs, the ideas that hold us back and replace them with encouraging thoughts and methods, systems of approaching the resistance and understanding, well, I have two paths in front of me. One path is hard, the other path is hard, but one of them leads to you becoming the person you're meant to be, you unlocking your potential, while the other leads to you disappointed, overweight, upset, depressed, and all of the other negatives that come from not overcoming your fear. And what is the comfort zone? The comfort zone is when people choose to stay mediocre. And if you overcome your fear, you step into the unknown, that is how you become great. See, this leads to calculated risk. So you're not a victim of life. And the situations that happen in your life are happening for you. And what do I mean by that? See, the victim mindset says, oh, woe is me. Life is so hard. This is all happening to me. Wow, bullshit. And the strong-minded individual takes a tough situation, a rejection, a failure, a stumble, and looks deeply to grab the lesson out of that situation. See, if you can build stairs from the tough lessons, you are headed in the right direction. Rather than dwelling, you consciously choose to seek out the smallest win that could be taken from a tough situation. That is going to serve you so well throughout your life. So if you are not reflecting and adapting, you are wasting your potential. And I don't think there is a bigger sin than squandering your potential. So by reflecting and adapting, you get closer to overcoming fear. And the foundation lies in knowing that you'll feel better when you push past what you're scared of. And this is counterintuitive. Like, only if an easy life was possible. But the reality is, no matter which route you go, see, hard choices lead to an easy life. And easy choices lead to a hard life. What do I mean by that? See, the hard choice is choosing to go into your fears. The hard choice is choosing to wake up early, to train your body, rather than indulging at the bar and having a quote unquote blast. And see, it's definitely difficult because what seems to be easy will actually destroy your life. You go to the bar continuously, day after day, you're destroying your liver. You're lowering the consciousness of your mind. You're reducing your potential as a human being. So it is so counterintuitive how those easy decisions create a hard life and how the hard choices actually make your life better. When you train, when you read a book, when you invest in yourself, you meditate, you have deep, honest, sometimes challenging conversations with people. You break into your own belief systems. You reflect and look for areas that you are deceiving yourself. All of that is hard. But those types of activities are the things that make your life easy. So why does it work this way? Don't know. But does it work this way? In my experience, this is exactly what I've found repeatedly. And I'm sure if you ask anyone that you look up to, anyone you admire, people who have honest, authentic, passionate characters, they will probably say something along these lines. See, we must develop a sort of self-belief because humans naturally are always projecting. See, if I show up to a conversation in a negative mood, that other person, unless I'm a wizard, which I'm not, they will sense the negative mood, the energy that I've carried into the conversation. So how does this correlate with self-belief? Well, there are traps that you can fall into. And one of these traps is not betting on yourself. See, when you follow the safe route, the mediocre route, it seems in the beginning to be the best option because there's not much risk. What could go wrong? Your mind thinks. But eventually you come to realize, oh man, I'm doing something that I have no passion for. I am waking up every day and doing things that do not spark my natural interest, that don't align with my curiosities. And eventually that destroys a human. See, there are multiple levels which the individual will define themselves from. And these levels rate from the shallow, having, mediocre is doing, and advanced is being. So most people who take the average route, they have no self-belief and they just wanted the safe route, which is understandable. But then they end up identifying their self-image with what they have, materialistic things. They're buying the car, not because they love cars and what the car can actually do, but they're buying it to impress others for external validation because their self-image is dependent on the approval of others. See, that's not healthy. Just not healthy. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just sharing the truth of the matter, which is the self-worth should be determined by who you are, the quality of your character, your actions, how you treat others, and so forth. And this is not some magical process. Let me tell you this. It's okay and it's actually perfect to be where you are right now. I have no problem with where you are right now. But why am I making this video? Why do I do what I do? Because it's not okay to stay where you are, okay? So accept that you're in a place that you have much to improve, as do I. I have so much to improve. And I just must say that because I never want people to think that I'm out here talking out of my ass like I'm a perfect person. No, no. I have so much to improve and there's so much I don't know, and I will continuously be learning. Once I came across the idea of a reframe, my whole life began to improve. See, Perception is quite similar to the angle that you're looking at. And depending on what angle you're viewing the situation from, you will be seeing a certain side of the situation. It's like that common thing where you're telling the story from your lens, the other person's telling their story. The stories don't match up. Why don't they match up? Because we're viewing it from different angles. So what it comes down to is understanding, well, let's take an uncomfortable feeling, for example, or a negative emotion. Like you're feeling awkward. I don't know. You went up to a girl and you made a fool of yourself. That happens. But instead of sitting there and saying, woe is me, I'm so unlucky. That girl is so mean. Bullshit. That stuff is the epitome of foolish thinking. But what you could do instead is to dive into that situation and look at it from a different angle. Hey, maybe you got rejected. Maybe you made a fool of yourself. But did you overcome the inner resistance that was preventing you from going up to her? Yeah, you did. And now, are you more confident in your ability to approach someone? You should be, just because the outcome wasn't exactly what you liked. You proved to yourself that you can overcome your internal fears. So this is a reframe. It is the same situation. The fact of the matter is, you went up to the person, you got rejected, but the reframe, you can find the positive in the negative. That's a superpower. That is worth cultivating. Once you realize that there is so much out of your control and you consciously choose to focus on seeking solutions for that which is in your control, you've unlocked a cheat code, because most humans create the suffering of life within their own monkey minds. What's the monkey mind? It is that voice, that inner dialogue that we all have. The one that says, yeah, dumbass, you shouldn't have done that. The one that seemingly is a bully inside of your head. This is my direct experience. Maybe your inner voice is friendlier, but mine's an ass, and was an ass. See, eventually you can build and develop an awareness so that you recognize the negative inner dialogue and you can consciously unlearn and choose to rewire your mind. That's the name of the podcast. It goes in there well. It's a good name, I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think about the name? Does it make sense? But it's so priceless when we focus on unlearning, on subtracting. See, what society seemingly makes you feel is that you don't have what you need. You need to purchase this, buy that, consume this. And consuming the right information is important. I would never disagree with that. We need to be very detailed in what we consume. But for some people, for most people, where your life is actually being weighed down the most is the things that you need to subtract. So the negative habits, the toxic people, the low frequency environments, the distractions, the junk food, and etc. Just because I didn't say it, don't think you're off the hook. If you know you're participating in something that is not furthering you, getting you closer to where you'd like to go, you gotta stop that thing. And listen, I already know that humans do not like to be told what to do. So am I going to tell you to stop the thing? Well, yes, stop the thing. But How do you stop the thing? Watch my videos, because that is a huge portion of what I speak about. A little rant quickly. You replace negatives with positives. So if you're going to subtract from your life, you should replace that thing with something healthy. And if you're going to add to your life, you should make sure that you're deleting something negative. Okay? That's the best way I could simply explain it. Feedback loops must be understood. So one of my favorites is the quality of your thoughts links to how you feel within your body and your mind. And how you feel determines the actions you take for most people. See, of course, there are exceptions to everything I say, but for most people, if you are hungover, bloated, your mind is foggy, and you feel horrible, the odds that you go to the gym that day are low. They're low odds. The probabilities decrease. But on the other hand, you got 9 or 8 hours of sleep. You stopped eating 2 to 3 hours before bed. You did not drink. You didn't watch screens 30 minutes before bed. Maybe you read a book, went on a walk. You got your work done the previous day. The house is clean. Your mind is clear, etc. What are the odds that you go to the gym next morning? They're pretty high, honestly. It's easy to justify why you shouldn't act on what you're scared of, why you should stay in your comfort zone. The mind will create many rationalizations, but if you're aware that this is happening, if you heard this in the video, and then in the moment, you can recognize, oh, wait, Justin said that my mind would come up with excuses when it came to the moment of overcoming that fear. See, by developing the awareness, mindfulness to notice your style of thinking, you will be able to catch yourself before you make poor decisions. And that will lead you to making less poor decisions. And in this case, allowing you to overcome the internal resistance. This is not rocket science, but the mind is a tricky thing. So once you identify, well, I know what I don't want, and I know what I'm scared of, and I also understand where I do want to go, along with the fact that on the other side of my fear is the person, the man, the woman that I want to become, well, you can make a decision. And ideally, you make the decision which involves delaying gratification, overcoming your resistance, and creating a better future, rather than the instant pleasure-seeking decision which you're already quite comfortable making, which leads you to this feedback loop of fucking mediocrity. We don't want that. We don't want that. So it comes down to developing and training your awareness. When we recognize the small wins, the incremental improvements, and we really identify how far we've came from our past, this is a sign that you are paying attention to the right things. Because no matter how much growth you've made, if you compare yourself to someone 17 steps ahead of you when you're on step 8, you're going to feel inferior. Meanwhile, step 8 is much better than step 0, but you're paying attention to the wrong thing. You're comparing yourself to someone else who is way further in the journey than you. So what I'm getting at is it's so important that we learn from others, that we look up and aim high and notice, well, I'd like to be similar, something like that person. And at the same time, focusing on your day-to-day process, not getting caught up in what those amazing people you look up to are doing. Of course, you can learn, take notes, and research, but the fact of the matter is, if you're on your early steps, don't compare to their later stages. That's foolish. And you're only going to create a negative state of consciousness through that. So, in reflection, in recognizing growth, there are pitfalls, and identifying with someone so far ahead of you, that's one of the most common pitfalls. So don't do that. And if you're not sure what you want, where you'd like to go, and let's say you're just in an average spot right now, you're not growing because you're unsure of what you want to pour your energy into. I know I was there before. And what helped me so much is identifying, becoming clear on who and what I didn't want to become. So make that vision for yourself. What disgusts you? What is unattractive? And then kind of reverse engineer. Say, okay, I'll get personal. I didn't want to be overweight. I did not want to be a bad, low quality father, did not want to work an average, mediocre job that was sucking my soul and energy. So what did I do? And in the reverse engineering process, okay, go to the gym and eat healthy. That handles the overweight thing. Not become a low quality father. Well, I started investing in my financial education, my physical education, the education of my mind. Point is, if you want to be a good person, you got to educate yourself. And I forgot the other thing, but what it comes down to is get so clear on what you don't want and then work from there, because it's easier to start with what you don't want. If you're interested in generating self-belief, number one, I just finished a course and it covers everything you need to know to build the foundation to jailbreaking your mind and body. Check the bio for that, or the description. Link will be there. And so you want to develop a strong self-image. Where does this start? For me, I think the best place to begin is understanding how what you look like correlates to how you feel. And see, we have stages of development. And for a while, I associated my self-worth with my body, with what I look like. This is how many people feel. And it's not the place that you want to stay, but it is definitely okay to take care of your body. I would say it's better than okay. It's what you should be doing, taking care of your body, paying attention to what you're putting into your system, what you're putting on your body through, I don't want to get too detailed, but conditioner, deodorant, shampoo, toothpaste, quality of water, quality of food, all of that, very important to pay attention to. But we're talking about self-belief. So you generate self-belief by taking care of yourself. But what if you don't know why you should take care of yourself? This happens to people. Their self-worth is so broken, they don't even see themselves as an individual worth taking care of. Holy shit, that's a tough one. How would I deal with that? I think it's founded in identifying that you are someone who deserves a good life. And underlying that initial belief that you aren't worthy of anything good, there's a lot of trauma, or there's a lot of unlearning that must be done. See, I don't know how your environment was, how your parents treated you, what you grew up in, but I know for a fact if you view yourself as someone who's not worthy of being healthy, of having a great life, that there is trauma that needs to be unraveled deep within. So what would I do? How could I help you? You have to ask yourself the questions to start becoming aware, to begin pursuing education on the psychology of our minds. Because when you do that, you're going to start to see, oh, this isn't just me, but a lot of people have felt similar. And you're going to come to realize that there are humans out there who do not know you physically, who can speak to you. And that comes from their personal experiences being so aligned with what you've gone through. Could be in a different country, different parents, different physical reality, but similar experiences. So that's an interesting thing. But you deserved a great life. You deserve a great life, but you have to work for it. No one's going to give it to you, but it's a possibility, and you can earn it, and you should earn it. So I just want to touch quickly on methods of building awareness. So you go to the gym, no music, you focus on your breath, the contraction of muscles, you are building your ability to focus. You read, you write for 45 minutes plus. Okay, let's say you're just starting. Start with 10 minutes, add 5 minutes every 5 days. You know, if you're building habits, if you're looking to implement good routines into your life, it's so much more important to start slow than to be aggressive and fucking burn out. There's this idea called sustainable intensity that I talk about in my course. Again, it'll be in the description, but if you're interested in the depth behind creating routines and habits and how to get that done, check out the course. And along with reading and writing, doing some cleaning, taking a cold shower, and being with good people, being present in the moment. See, what is being present in the moment? What is that? It comes from being aware of the monkey chatter in your mind. So you practice those activities I listed above, you're building your ability to focus, and therefore you build your recognition for the monkey mind voice, the inner dialogue chatter. And then you can bring your attention back to the real moment, the reality. And this is going to create a more peaceful life, which is going to be good for everyone. So here's your assignment. A few questions. What are you scared of and why? Use this to identify the detailed thing that is the source of your fears. How will you feel if you take action and overcome this fear? Write and think about the positive feeling you'll get from pushing through the fear. See, visualization is helpful. Visualize and feel that strong feeling that is derived from overcoming the inner resistance. So here's a few steps. Journal small wins every day. Rewrite limiting beliefs and do a weekly Sunday review. Commit to becoming the absolute best version of yourself. Commit, promise yourself, and keep that promise. This will strengthen your confidence if you hold the word that you make with yourself. And break the vision down into a list of priorities ranked in an order of least to most important. So you have your priorities, and then you know which priorities are the top of the top importance. And put your priority task into your daily system. Identify the lever moving actions and just do 4 to 5 hours of focused work on the lever moving task, and less hours if you have a 9 to 5. But by doing these things, you are going to become more aware, which will allow you to reflect, and through that, the consistent execution of the lever moving task, you will inevitably make progress. And then with the awareness and reflection, you will be able to see where you're doing well, what's not working, what do you need to change, where can things be smoother, where are you wasting energy, where could you stress less, etc. But I appreciate you, I really do, so much more than words can express. But if you enjoyed, do me a favor. If you found value, I'm sure you want other people to see this. The best way to allow that to happen is liking the video. So do that. Thank you. And I'd love to hear thoughts. Really, I would love to hear them. So drop something below in the comments. And lastly, if you have a good bud, I hope you do, a good friend, someone who is open-minded, someone who wants to grow, share this with them. Tell them why you shared it with them. Don't just fucking share the link. But I hope you have a great day. Appreciate you.